Climate Change and Environmental Sustainability Module. Story of our local hero, Sir Asif Sharif. We often hear about various inspirational environmental leaders who stand resilient in the face of widespread ignorance and oblivion in a world that is blind to several environmental red alerts. However, our local heroes are often not only unappreciated but also unknown. Today you will learn about Pakistan's applaudable local hero who used the fact that Pakistan is largely an agrarian economy to come up with ways that can prevent ecosystem loss from agricultural practices. Sir Asif's story begins long ago in 2008 when he went to visit a friend in Brazil. Brazil is most famous for its rich culture, eye-catching infrastructure, and is simply a great place for tourism. What attracted Sir Asif the most was the Amazon forest. This huge forest, also known as the lungs of the earth, is every environmentalist's dream ecosystem, and for Sir Asif, the moment he set his eyes on the forest, it became a turning point in his life. As he gazed upon the beauty of the forest, there was one pertinent question that stuck with him throughout his visit: how is a forest 10 times bigger than even the size of Pakistan thriving for the past 400 million years without any external intervention? It was truly a wonder to witness, and left him awestruck. But at that moment, as he appreciated the glory of the Amazon rainforest, his curiosity regarding its self-sustenance drove Sir Asif to find empirical reasons to see how the forest was maintained. And behold, this leisurely visit became a life-altering moment in which Sir Asif founded the 4 most important principles of sustainable agriculture. Before we delve into what they are, it is important to mention that in Pakistan, conventional or industrial agriculture was heavily dependent upon the use of fertilizers and pesticides. However, while inspecting the Amazon rainforest, Sir Asif understood that these inorganic agriculture methods are what disrupt the natural algorithms of soil fertility, leading to a number of issues that will be addressed later in the story. The 4 heroic principles that changed Sir Asif's perspective on sustainable agriculture are not magical in nature in any way, nor are they a set of principles that humankind has not heard of before. Throughout the process of development, we have become so engrossed in the industrial process that we often forget that sometimes things work best when they are dealt with simply. Agriculture, in a similar fashion, does not need any external intervention, and to prove this, Sir Asif put forth the simplest yet life-altering principles. While inspecting the Amazon, Sir Asif noticed that in areas where there was vegetation, there was no water, and in areas where there was water, there was no vegetation. This observation birthed the first principle. Principle 1. Plants, vegetation, and soil should never be inundated. In light of this eye-opening discovery, Sir Asif introduced the concept of raised bed, or what is known as highland and lowland. This concept stresses the importance of segregating water from vegetation and only giving water access to the roots of the crops instead of fully submerging the crops in water as we usually see on most farms, particularly in rice fields. Seeing how the soil was undisturbed, Sir Asif understood that tillage agriculture in Pakistan is the culprit of ruined soil chemistry and structure. He then founded the second principle. Principle 2. Soil must never be disturbed. And to implement this, he developed machinery that could be used in plantation without disturbing the soil. Another fascinating observation was how every single inch of soil was covered in organic mulch and vegetation in the Amazon. Based upon this fascinating sight, Sir Asif concluded the third principle. Principle 3. Soil must never be naked. Although this may seem a little absurd, it is of utmost significance to understand why this principle is important. In historic times, the only barren areas were the deserts, where the absorption of the sun's radiation prevented the growth of any vegetation. However, as a result of human intervention, even areas that weren't earlier barren became barren because they were left uncovered. As soil is naked, the sun's radiation is absorbed into the soil, increasing the soil's temperature, and making it unfavorable for crop or plant growth. An added disadvantage is that it also increases the Earth's temperature since soil absorbs the radiation that should have been reflected, and this becomes one of the causes of global warming. Sir Osif's enlightening observations were not only limited to the soil. The last observation that fascinated him was the coexistence of various plants in the Amazon. This biodiversity was truly an incredible sight to behold, particularly because he came from a country where farmers believed that for crops to flourish, only a single species of a plant or crop should be planted in one region. However, as he saw so many different types of plants in the same region, Sir Osif founded his last insightful principle. Principle 4. You can plant all types of crops in the same region. Osif Sir calls this system of farming PQNK. Paedar Qudratti Nizam Kashatqari. The science of natural farming. Reflect to act. Can you think of a local hero who is inspiring others to make a sustainable change? How are they bringing a change? What qualities, in your view, define a local hero? Have you heard of climate-smart agriculture or nature-based solutions for agriculture? Can you think of how agriculture has changed and how capitalism has impacted it? Are you aware of how local seeds and growing practices are dying with time? What do you think about precision agriculture? Aga Khan University Institute for Educational Development, Pakistan.